is it still playing?
Yo, yo, yo! What up, everybody? How we doing?
Cheers.
Jarickoh, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good.
How's,
So I figured
how's
we would just kind of jump into some things here because you, like in your video, you said that you were going to tell us about your story. So I was really kind of looking forward to your transition story.
Yeah, it's crazy how things end up because, like, if I would have had TikTok,
text your stories.
It would have been so much easier to deal with because it was crazy because I felt alone this past few years, and then this last 2 years has been awesome. It's a new family that I never thought was out there, and then when I started, I just was making lip sync videos. It felt like a Vine, and then I see like Kit Kat doing videos. I'm like, oh, we can do this on here. Oh shit! All right, well, let's do it.
I mean, and then who would have ever thought that in like all this TikTok journey we would have met the Rosa Parks of TikTok?
Oh man!
On the way. I mean, it's a part of history.
I mean,
you're really MVP, brother. And I got to shout out to Brian, who gave me my new TikTok name. He called me the Saturday Night the TikTok. I was like, you know what? I'm not even mad about that.
No, that one has to stick forever because that is kind of your content. And I love that he said that because at the end of the day, that's all you're doing is you're just picking on people that choose to put themselves on the internet.
This is true.
Exactly. If you're gonna berate people, you're gonna argue with people, you better be able to deal with the consequences of people clapping back on you, because if not, you need to get off. So
yes.
So anyway, so when my life changed, I grew up fairly a normal life. I grew up in 90 miles northeast of where I am now. I live in Amarillo, Texas. Amarillo by morning.
It disappeared from his mansion.
It's the Matrix.
It's the Matrix.
CERN. CERN is doing it.
I'm pretending I have a very nice place compared to what I have. I mean,
I'm obsessed with your background.
It's not nice like this. But I have nothing in this room besides a computer, a couch. It's like the kids' game room. So I'm like, we'll just pretend like I'm fancy.
I love it. I love it. So, well, real quick, did you start TikTok like independently, like you just found the app? Because I know a lot of us, it was like our kids were on it, so we hopped on it, and then we ended up taking over the app.
Yeah, so I was brought attention to that by my niece, who's like, "Hey, you ever heard of TikTok?" I'm like, "No." Like, well, you ever heard of Musical.ly? And I was like, "Well, yeah, but I've never been on it." And so she's showing me all the sounds to use, and like I was like, "Okay, I'll try it." And I made like a couple here and there, just lip syncing random stuff. I was like, well, this is kind of the same as Vine. So I was like, I'll just have fun with it. And then I was off for a few months. And then the moment I came back, there you were, Kat. And I was like, oh, we can talk about politics on here? I got some shit that I want to talk about. Shit. You know, I'm a smart ass, so I've developed that over the years. So I was like, I think I can make some good content. And the more and more it got, I'm on my third account now, so I was like, I started getting the hang of it.
Amateur.
Like, this is fun.
So you're so amateur, bro. Quick, like, come on, step up those numbers.
Don't talk to the 3-time band champ like that. Don't do that.
Hey, it's not. Is it in your bio? Because if not, it's not true. It's got to be in your bio.
I try to work around it so that way I don't get banned. And I definitely ain't going to get banned for a guy like JB Bryan, because everything I do, interaction I've had, videos come down. So
all the time. It's so.
You didn't have to tag him, and he's instantly your video comes down like that. And I see it all damn day. People interacting with him, and they're like, "Oh, you reported it." He's like, I don't report it.
I think we'll all be on post ban by the end of the night. I'm assuming. We ask our guests to wear shirts. I know.
Well, I'm wearing a shirt because no one wants to actually see that. But some people think having pepperoni titties is something people want to see. But
you know what though, Jared? I don't even want the ripped guys doing it. Like, why are we not wearing clothes on the internet? Like, when did this? Or we're just wearing bathrobes. Like, when did this become a thing?
When we hook up with our ex-sister-in-law.
Okay. Oh, so back to how Jarickoh found me.
But yeah, so that's essentially how. And this was after I basically started over from my second marriage. I had gone through dealing with, and I say this lightly because I always thought she was a narcissist, but like knowing what I know now and the stories I'm about to tell you, it's probably more like she had a borderline personality because there was a lot of crazy stuff I dealt with.
Yeah.
And,
well, and I started kind of getting like an idea of that during the lip sync battle that we did. Like I think a lot of like people's stuff kind of came out, and I feel like that's why I reached out to the show, because we do a lot, and domestic violence is a hot topic right now on the Clock app after today.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk over there today, like because we've seen videos of people making fun of domestic violence survivors today. That was a trend.
Yeah.
So, and I know a lot of the focus is usually around women, like you're making fun of women, but you were in a situation like that.
Yeah, that's why it was important to me when this was brought to the forefront of TikTok. I was like, you know what, this is a subject that I'm really passionate about, that I dealt with, and not a lot of men are very comfortable sharing that, because at the end of the day, when we try to share it with other people, they're like, oh, well, you can just leave. And when I dealt with like people that I knew were dealing with men that were abusing them, I was like, why don't you just leave? And then when I went through it, I'm like, oh, I get it now. It's not as easy as people think it is.
No.
So the way it all started, and I want to preface this by saying my first wife, my kid's mom, we get along great, but this is kind of where it all started. And we're very cordial with each other. We actually get along very well now. And she remarried to a great guy who's great to my kids. So when I start this story, this is not like I'm not ripping on her. This is a mistake she made. I made mistakes in marriage. So when I say that, I'm not trying to make her look bad, because we all made mistakes. We forgave each other, and we moved on to big and better things. So we were in I would say a six-year marriage, and we started having problems, and it was kind of like, I felt like it was like a normal thing. But then one day she sat down with me and said, you know what, I'm seeing somebody else. And that came to a shock to me. I was like, how could you do that to me?
Right.
And so for that span of maybe a month, didn't care how I felt. I was broken, shattered, betrayed. I couldn't believe she just didn't care. So, and she kept seeing this guy behind my back. She would speak out. She would say, oh, I'm going to go to the store and be gone for 3 or 4 hours, and she'd be with this guy. And so, and like I said, you know, she acknowledges now how that hurt me. And so then my coping skills was not very good then. I felt very alone. I wanted to feel like somebody loved me, right? So my logical brain at the time was like, you know what? I'm going to get on a dating website, Plenty of Fish. And so
I'm listening, by the way. I'm paying attention.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's actually Texas paying attention phase. Not a lot of people.
I mean, you don't get it often.
I've used this same app for so I know exactly what's going on. So
we'll turn our captions on.
Turn your speakers up.
I love Bunny. She's awesome. The fact that she's a professional wrestler is just awesome to me.
I know, right? I hear horror stories off that. Like, I've never done like the dating app thing. Thank God. I didn't.
Yeah,
I did. It's called TikTok.
So I dated a girl. This was not the second ex-wife, but I dated a girl for a while, and then I ended up finally getting divorced from my first wife because, you know, irreconcilable.
Yeah.
And I went to court without a lawyer or anything, so she pretty much got whatever she wanted. So it just ended up being that way. And then I break up with this one girl, and then I meet the second ex-wife, and the first red flag that what should have been I should have ran.
Right.
It was the same it was the same dating website, and it was Plenty of Fish. I picked her up from a homeless shelter.
What?
Yeah. This has never been shared, by the way, on social media, but here it is.
Share.
Yes. Okay, this is probably.
Did you say homeless shelter?
Hey,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
people have hard times.
Can you clarify? Women's shelter, but you're basically homeless. Okay, so
Right.
it's the same thing.
But like people
She's
have
homeless,
hard
but
times.
had enough money to be on Plenty of Fish or whatever it's called.
Oh, I'm sure there was an elaborate sob story as to why she was.
Oh yeah, her ex was abusive, right? So she was with her daughter, and we had to get away.
Right.
So get on a dating app while you had to go away. Okay, I got it.
That's how some of these girls I'm telling you, that's how they work it.
Yeah, so this is gonna be like caught in 4K. If anybody's watching that doesn't like me, will probably want to use this against me, which is
Hi, Brian.
Hey, Rosa Parks of TikTok.
Rosa.
Yes.
Or
Rosa's watching. Rosa always.
We might be interested in this one, but anyway, the second red flag, and this is going to blow your mind, and I will catch hell for this. So we're sitting there talking about her past and whatnot. And she says, "Oh, I used to sell my body for money because I was poor." And I was like, okay, you're not that person anymore. It doesn't bother me, but I'm trying to convince myself it doesn't, but it does.
Right.
But we're with that, and it wasn't a traffic thing. It was just her free million. I need money, so I'm gonna do it. So anyway, so that was the second red flag, and then the third red flag that I saw that I should have been in. She had charges saying she had a charge, and then you can look it up on mugshots.com. She had a charge of assaulting a family member, which means her ex. I would say she wasn't married, but her ex-husband per se. Right. So yeah, so she had a history, but she said that he was abusive and whatnot. So, but everything was
now. Play devil's advocate, though, that does happen a lot where if a girl's in an abusive relationship and she happens to hit back, or she finally has enough and she hits first, she'll end up getting a DV charge as well.
Yeah. So I ignored all that. It was going great for a month or two. We moved way too fast. She moved in within a month and a half. I asked her to marry me. Oh yeah. Man, this is
but
this is a side you'll never see me tell very often. But yes.
It this way, it's of course going to be like, what the hell, Jer? Yes. But at the same time, like when you're in it and you're having those conversations with this person and you're falling in love with the person,
yes,
you're not looking at that stuff. Yes. You're like, oh, well, they're different now, and I know that from my experience with them, and they're very good at it. They're very, very, very good at it. To where big, huge flags are missed.
Yeah. So the term that I found on the internet was she love bombed me. So everything I wanted, everything she sold me, whatever I wanted to hear. So I was convinced that she was the one because she just knew how to press those buttons to where I felt great about myself. She was awesome. I was like, oh man, I've never had these compliments before. So she must really love me.
Yep.
So anyway, she moves in, and that's when things started to go sour, but like I was still trying to make it work. I was trying to chase that high that I felt in the beginning. And come to find out, she also cheated on me, but I actually saw proof of it through text messages and photos. And so I was like, okay, we're done. We're done. I'm not dealing with this again. Get the fuck out. We're done, right? So about a month later, she comes back, and what people like that are really good at is very good at apologies, even if they don't mean it. So like she's like, I'm sorry, I treated you so horrible. I messed up, and then just love bombed me again, and I fell for it right again. So we get back together. We officially get married through the JP, whatever. And so it went good for a little bit because she got me back. She was on good behavior. And that's when it got to the point after she got everything she wanted, it started to go south really quick. So she would, in the sense, when she got mad, she would yell, berate, whatever, get me to engage that way as well, because that's what she wanted. I would try to, let it go, try to stay calm, but it just over and over and over. This is what actual reactive abuse is. Like, not the one that Brian Carlson says, I don't have
this new definition of reactive abuse.
Yes, I don't have multiple court cases against multiple women. So
yeah, but are you the Rosa Parks of TikTok? Because if not, you can't say reactive abuse.
Yeah. So all of them are men's mental health, but that's another story. But so anyway, those things she was doing, she did in front of my kids when they were over, and so my kids were, my daughter was 3 and my son was about 6 at the time. Witnessed a lot of that. She never physically abused them, but at one point, and I didn't notice, but she told this to my ex. She said she tried to claim that my son was molesting my daughter, and then tried to say she caught him masturbating. He has no clue what that is, but she tried to say that he was doing all of this stuff. And actually told him, and I didn't know this until I went to court. She said, oh yeah, if you keep doing that, you're going to lose your penis. Tell the 6-year-old that he would lose his penis for quote unquote masturbating. And when I was in court, because she had filed a restraining, my first ex filed a restraining order against my second ex. So I'm in court for all of this, hearing this for the first time. And when the judge asked me,
eyebrows, I had to deal with one of these.
Yeah.
Not going to get too much into it, but
so
I've had to deal with one of these before.
Yes. So
because they will after the ex and the kid's mom, and they go crazy. These girls.
Yeah. So for the first time hearing this in court, and I have no lawyer again, but she does. They're like, do you have anything to say on that? I was just like, no, this is news to me. I went back to my second ex-wife, and I kind of mouthed to her. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And so they passed to where she was not allowed around my kids. We're already married. I really didn't get to see my kids for a few months, and that was probably rock bottom for me.
Yeah.
Was not being able to see my kids because who I was with.
Right.
So I was there with her for a little bit, and I was trying to think of an escape plan because I couldn't go through not being able to see my kids anymore.
Yeah.
It was killing me. And the day that I finally left, and this was about 6 months later, where I'm like, okay, I'm out. I'm leaving. So she was constantly accusing me of cheating, constantly accusing me of just going to other places and cheating on her. But that's just because who she was. She was even convinced that I was a cop, and this is where the borderline personality comes in. She was convinced I was a cop trying to get her kids taken away from her. Crazy stuff. Like the place looked like, she said the place was bugged.
You're a paid informant. I knew it. I knew you were a paid informant.
Yes. So
paid opposition.
Yeah. So I'm in bed. I have heartburn. I'm like, okay, I gotta go find something to go back to sleep. Didn't have anything, so I was like, I'm just gonna go run to the store. And I run to the store, come back, the door is locked. I can't get in. And she's like, I know where you were going. You weren't trying to get meds. You were trying to go sleep with someone else. And I said, no, I wasn't.
What?
So I said, all right, then. You're not going to let me back in? I called my brother up. I said, hey, I walked out. I'm done. I need a place to stay. So he said, hey, yeah, come over there with me, and we'll figure it out from there. And it's funny, around that time is when I joined TikTok. It was like August of 2019.
Oh, wow.
May of 2019. And then once I got away from the second X, I started being on TikTok. I was like, man, I wish I would have had this sooner.
Right.
So after that, I just wanted to have peace. And then once I filed for divorce and it got finalized, and that's when I was actually able to see my kids more again. I saw them on a very limited basis because of who she was.
Yep.
So once I got free from that, that's when my kids came back and I was able to see them again more. And as you see, they were actually here for 5 days, and it was great. They're going back to school next week, so it's been a great 2 years being able to repair that. And the funny story I have about my daughter is, like, she started talking about some of the stuff she witnessed a few years ago, and I started crying because the guilt kills me every time I think about it. And she's like, why are you crying, Dad? And I was like, well, I mean, I feel guilty that you were exposed to that. I feel like that's my fault. And she goes, Dad, I want you to close your eyes and just repeat after me. And she's 7. She's like, just repeat after me and say, I forgive myself.
Damn.
You're way too smart to say that for that.
Self-awareness in such a little body. I love
I
it.
know, it's crazy. So it's just great that I was able to start over. When I started TikTok, I was in a studio apartment. I was single for, I say, 2 years, and able to refocus my life and just realize what the boundaries I needed to set for myself or ever jump in again.
Yeah.
And Lord behold, I meet the girl that I love now on TikTok, and she moved all the way from Jersey to be with me.
She had a homeless shelter too, or
No.
no?
Actually,
I mean, hey, I
actually
just
lived
had
in the
that.
house. And it wasn't from a dating website. There you go.
Yeah, it is. It's called TikTok.
I guess it's kind of a pseudo dating website, I guess, if you want to call it that.
That's right.
Is that how you met Dana?
That is how I met Dana.
So and I'm holding down Texas until you get back, sir.
TikTok
I
love.
appreciate it. So, Jarickoh, let me ask you a question, because I've always felt this way, but I've never been involved in anything crazy, like picking up women at homeless shelters and stuff. But because I know that you said that you come back to TikTok and you kind of use that to, I guess, help and overcome a lot of this stuff. Now, question I have, because you used a lot of terminology that obviously a lot of people on the relationship side of TikTok use, or whatever, love bomb and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, because of TikTok, that everything is psychoanalyzed now?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's the problem that I have with it, is that, like,
Wrong people. It's just people who go and they hear these buzzwords like love bomb without knowing what love bombing means.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, if somebody, like, I mean, we hear it with every term in general, like from racism to narcissist to love bombing to you name it, and it just seems like even red flags.
Yeah.
Dana has chill text.
And actually, I got called a narcissist by Swede, and I think that narcissist is the most overused term on TikTok for anybody that disagrees with them.
All narcissists. Like, if these people even did half,
by definition, we all are.
We all are. Sure. There's just different levels of narcissism. That's it. everybody is a little narcissistic.
So you guys explain what love bombing is.
I have one. I definitely have an ego, but that's normal for anybody to have, especially when you make the content people like it.
Love bombing like entails them being everything that you want them to be for like a short period of time.
Yes.
All the things. It doesn't have to be like extravagant gifts or anything, but like I know in my experience, it was just always all the things that I had ever complained about or said, hey, you know, like I kind of don't like when you do this, normal things.
Yes.
And then it became like an obsession, and they make you feel like you are the most important, most beautiful, most just treasured thing in the entire world. And
Yes.
how can they ever do anything like that to you and all the things?
Yeah. They'll tell you you're amazing.
Right.
They'll tell you you're amazing, and then the next day you're a piece of shit. You don't do anything right.
All over again.
Well, that's the problem that I've always had, like with the relationship side of TikTok, because they seem to just everything's a red flag, and I feel like it could discourage people from getting back involved with relationships and love.
Yes.
Because he said this in a certain tone, that's a red flag. Avoid these. They're all. It's like, wait a minute, like,
yeah.
Not everything is a damn red flag.
Yeah, exactly.
And they just make it seem like, and then everything is love bombing. And it's like,
well, they make unattractive traits to them a red flag, and it's like that's not a red flag. Like your red flag is like my how you doing. So
right.
A red flag if somebody else like.
But then, like somebody that's not so secure in themselves, I feel like they could look at that and go, okay, that's a red flag. So then they take on that red flag.
Yes.
When that could be the person of their dreams.
Right.
That's something so minor. I mean, I always felt like there was different levels of red flags. Like there's like your bright red all the way down to like a pink almost, where like it's a red flag, but it's not like a huge deal.
Huh? Yeah, because you know people are going to say things and people are going to interpret it the way they want to interpret it, and that's going to be their quote unquote red flag. But you know you can't take a certain phrase.
Really nice.
The people, the way they'll play your clip for like 5 seconds. Like let's say they took something you said and frame it within 5 seconds of what you said without, kind of like we would do with like Trump, for example. They'll take that and they'll run with it because that little thing you said without context at all. And I've seen that a lot.
Well, and that's why I think like I believe some red flags are tolerable too. That it's not like a deal breaker, but it's one of those things that's like, okay, I can keep an eye on that, but at the same time, it's tolerable.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Like me and my husband was full of red flags when I met him. Like he was, and I'm sure that I was full of red flags too. We both.
Everybody, I think, has red flags, right?
Well, my story in itself is a red flag. I mean, that's why Debbie, I told her everything. I was like, hey, this is what I've done. This is what I've been through.
That is the way to do it, because that's exactly how Dana and I did it too. We were like open and honest about our entire past and current events and everything. I mean,
so I find it to like, if they're honest about their quote unquote red flags, I feel more comfortable that all right, they're sharing it. I'm not going to find out in a different way. Yeah. You know, so
it's when
she told me everything about her, what she's been through. I was like, okay, I'm glad you told me that. Like, because I feel comfortable that I won't find out anything else through whatever. So it was very refreshing to hear.
No, that's the way to do it. And I feel like that's where I failed a lot of times in relationships and probably was really susceptible to those kind of relationships. Is like I tended to like chameleon. Like, you like rock music? Okay, I'll like rock music. Oh, you like, and it was when I met my husband, and he was like, you don't even know what you like. Right. What are you doing? Because we had no intentions on dating. We had no intentions on anything. I was coming out of a really bad relationship, so it was emotional trauma dumping on somebody for the most part, and just being like really raw and honest. And then like, because I was like, oh, once I tell this guy all this, he's not going to be interested in me. Like, because that's what I was told.
And that's where like my toxic traits where I was very defensive on things being criticized, I had to learn how to kind of
Yep.
learn to take criticism as it comes. I was very like, I need to fix this right now. If we're fighting, we got to fix it. I can't handle it. I had those traits too. I was not perfect in my first marriage. You know, I messed up a lot, and I'm not going to blame my first ex for everything. She cheated, yes, but I realized I could have been a better husband in that way. So I'm not holding up.
Fix it right now is a toxic trait, because it's funny that you said that, because me and my husband were just talking about this in the garage the other day, where he was like, it's just really funny because in his past relationships, the girls would fight with him for like 3 days of like talking or like huffing around the house and like slamming cupboards and stuff. I'm like, no, we're gonna do this right now. Even if you needed to get crazy and violent, that's not violent, but like loud and like passionate.
Yes.
If you needed to escalate into a fight, cool, we can do that. Otherwise, like, we need to sit down and figure this out right the hell now.
Yes.
And then we're back to hanging out 5 minutes later. Because like, that's my best friend. I'm not trying to you, like, I want to go hang out with you and like laugh and like tell jokes and stuff.
But I think conflict, like if done right, conflict in any type of relationship, whether it be friendship or marriage or even dating, that if it's done right, it can be the best thing for your relationship.
Yeah. And like I had dealt with, like, especially from the second exes, like it could go on for 2 weeks without her like acknowledging me or like, being affectionate. I would go for weeks, and I set those boundaries of like, hey, we're not going to do this for weeks. Like, if you want to space, we can do space, but you're not going to shut me out for that amount of time. Like, that's just not going to work for me.
Right. Gosh,
Dana just abuses me, and I just take it. So that's usually how it works.
There's the TikTok rumor. That's why.
I wasn't even here like a week, and I had this big ass bruise on my arm from her. It was weird.
Wait until after the wedding to start doing that, rookie. Janet's in the house.
Oh, when Debbie gets mad at me, she'll tell me to fuck go off in their Jersey accent.
So, have you always been like Republican? Like, do you even consider yourself like what are you? What do you?
See, I'm glad you asked that. So, like, I guess my beliefs align more with a libertarian, but like, because like nowadays I will look at both sides. Like around here, it's only Democrat and Republican.
You heard what Ronald Reagan said about libertarians, right?
No, I actually don't.
They are conservatives.
In most
libertarian was just a made-up word to get away from being conservative, but they really are.
Well, yeah, it's definitely online, definitely more conservative. That's why I hang out in conservative TikTok, because most of my beliefs are conservative, but like libertarian values in that regard. So like. But I will go to the voting booth or look online in local voting booths and say, okay, if he's a Democrat, let's see what he has to offer, because I'm not going to just say, oh, there's a Republican right there, I automatically align. Like, it's not like that anymore. I used to be that way when I was younger, but of course I grew up with Republican parents, so they're like, oh, yeah, Republican every single time.
Right.
Yeah. Next to its name, it rides the whole way through.
Exactly. So, like, I think here I would not vote for Ken Paxton for Republican Attorney General. No, I wouldn't do it.
No,
I think too much in child support.
Well, but mind you, Democrats levy your child support more than Republicans do. That was most everything that's been in effect in Texas was way before Ken Paxton.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not my favorite here either, so I don't know who I would vote for.
Well, the problem is that the Democrat that's running against him is way worse. So I would I'll be voting.
Texas?
Huh?
You're in Texas, right, Jarickoh?
I am. I'm in Amarillo.
Oh, you get snow up there.
I do. Yeah.
And
it can get very cold and very windy.
No, it does, and it's very windy up there.
Oh yeah, you think Chicago? Like they call Chicago Windy City. They haven't been to Amarillo. So
What's funny, like Dallas is actually like talking about wind. They're actually more windy than the Windy City.
yeah, for sure. And I've been to Chicago, and I didn't experience any of that. So I don't know what they're talking about.
Wow, AFTC, okay. I don't like you at all.
For real.
I'm going to unfollow and block.
Oh, it just got serious real fast. Fast.
So you're not originally from Amarillo?
No, I grew up in a small town called Spearman, which is 90 miles northeast of where I live now. So I've been around this area all my life. So
okay.
And my grandparents actually lived here, so like I was here almost every weekend sometimes when we wanted to visit. So like I know this area with like the back of my hand. So yeah,
Gotcha.
But when I went to Jersey, I've never been to Jersey when I met Debbie, so it was definitely an experience. And I like it up there, but it's not Texas. But you know,
yeah, you guys have a different.
Texas where it snowed.
Yeah, no, he get like in Amarillo and shit. They get like snow consistent almost yearly.
Yeah, we do every winter. At least it will, and then we get
How
like.
hot does it get in the summer there?
Well, like the hottest day it's been here is 108, but it's dry heat. It's not humid.
It's so heat. Like, it don't matter. It's heat. 108. 108.
I went to Arkansas this summer. Go to Arkansas. You're sweating your fucking ass off every day.
Yeah, you are when it's 108 too.
It'd be like 90 degrees, and I'm sweating my balls off in the morning and at night because it never stops. So I'm like,
is the butthole group love bombing us? Is that what's going on? Barty, Cotton's Girl, Rebel. Like I think they're love bombing us.
I think they are.
It's a red flag. Red flag. Red flag.
Group like, oh shit, they're all live right now.
Oh, our friend Jarickoh's on. Whoops, forgot about that.
Live from Freedom Band Saturday night.
Oh man,
I love it. Lady Cotton's up in the house too. I didn't see that.
Cotton is a character. I love her. She is something else, but damn, she's funny.
Hey, it's almost like you didn't tell anybody on TikTok from either Kat's account, my account, or your account that you were on tonight.
Maybe if y'all would have paid less attention to my drama videos today, you would have noticed that he was going to be on.
Yeah, and Jarickoh made a video like 2 hours ago.
But you're still here. You're still here, Heather.
They only got 20 minutes left of the podcast.
I don't care. I love that they're all here. Like, that's the best part of all the bullshit on this app and all the bleh and everything else is that, like, some of us have formed, like, really great, genuine friendships. Like, having them all in my house was...
I wish I could have been there for that.
I know, me too. Like, it was...
Hey, can we say that we appreciate Cody Richardson?
What?
I don't know. Never mind. I forget what I was saying.
I don't know who Cody Richardson is.
Nobody knows who he is. I think that Tex is just a dumbass and read something that he wasn't supposed to read.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to. So, yeah. No, I'm multitasking. My bad.
Thanks a lot, Tex. That was cool.
I think it's sad how Brian and Tex.
You know what, though? It'll happen again. And they know that. They know that once in a while me and Tex like to dip our toes in the drama pool, go stir shit up, and then run away again. They're going to be doing the same old bullshit in 3 months when we go back again.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that I know a couple of people like, I wish
the worst
involved in the drama. I'm like, man, if they're going to talk smack to me, if they're going to talk smack on people that I've actually met in person,
I'm going to say
know who they are, I'm going to say something. Yeah. Like it takes me 5 minutes tops to say something, and then I can focus on if the country we're losing our country. It takes 5 minutes to say what you have to say to somebody. And that's what I do. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, people think that just because when you get involved in any type of drama on TikTok, then you're not focusing on the country and stuff. Like, I mean, the thing is, here's what I've learned is if it was drama with the left, those same people would be cheering it on.
Exactly.
But since it's drama with people they like, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you've changed, and they start out with all this bullshit of like
live today like that, and I
oh, I know.
want to do it. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get in this live. I'm not going to get in this live. And then I was like, you know what? Screw it. Screw it. Just like, why are you saying what you're, saying about me? And she was respectful. I don't have anything negatively to say about her. It wasn't a bad interaction, but they're just in there, and it was her and just the tip. He went in there with her, and I was like, if you guys are going to talk about me, let me in the box. Like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And it was, you've changed. And it was most of that ever since I got my new teeth, I changed. Like, my city teeth changed me.
They said the city teeth changed you? They did not.
I'm sorry. That's funny because I've had these for a really long time and I very rarely even wear them. But I'm like, what's the difference between me doing it and this person doing it or this person doing it? Everybody does it. Everybody on that freaking app does it. But then they act like that app is the only thing in the world, the only outlet, the only place to spread information, the only place to like have your voice heard.
Yeah.
Ant heard that whenever he wasn't on the app for a while.
It's not good for, like, there's other apps if that's what y'all are wanting to.
Well, there's real places to be having your voice heard, like the voting box. Go to Congress and physically go there and say something. I mean, contact your representatives, something Kat does on a regular with her rep, Gretch. I mean, there's several different ways that are absolutely more effective than TikTok, because I don't know about y'all, like from Facebook to even TikTok, I ain't never seen nobody change their stance on any type of debate. And I've watched tons of debates on TikTok. I've yet to see somebody go, oh yeah, okay, now you changed my mind. Like, I've never seen it. Like, maybe y'all have, but I've never seen it.
But I do think that TikTok is good at, like, as good as they are at division, they're also very good at pushing people into like small little communities too, of people who they just adore. Like, I've met the most amazing people off of this app, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So there's that part too. But then there's the people who think that it's everything, like everything in the entire world.
The one thing that
this shocked that like teeth make a difference of you changing. Like, that's still
the one thing this app has given me is like a voice outside. Like, I've dealt with this in my workplace. I work for a federal nuclear facility. I think, to the simplest terms, I'm a guard. So like, we wear military uniforms. I carry several guns. We sit in tanks protecting the nuclear bombs. So since it's a federal facility, anytime Biden comes out with an executive order or wants to change a mask mandate or a vaccine mandate, I've had to deal with that. And the way I was dealing with that was, when they came out with all federal employees have to be vaccinated, otherwise you can get fired or terminated. I put in a religious exemption, and someone challenged me. He goes, "You really don't believe that Christian faith does not condemn vaccines?" I was like, "That doesn't matter. It's my personal belief. This is why we're in the USA. It doesn't matter what Christianity says. It's my belief. I will use Christianity because that's what I gear towards to. But you can't sit here and tell me that my belief is less than yours. And you try to tell me, well, if you're not vaccinated, you shouldn't have a bed in the hospital. You should be over vaccinated." I was like, I thought the point of this was vaccination was supposed to keep you out of the hospital. So why are you sitting there telling me this? And he tried to tell me I didn't really believe that. I was like, yes, I believe that with my whole heart. My kids are unvaccinated against everything. And that's just a personal belief that we have. I don't tell everybody, though, that, your kids are vaccinated. You're a bad parent.
Hey, word of advice. Don't tell people that on TikTok Live because you'll get CPS called on you. I know from experience because I really don't care.
But here's the thing,
my
though.
kids
That's
my
great
kids aren't
advice.
vaccinated either,
Hey,
and
Yeah.
I make sure to know it. Like
not of it. He's a non. I hate the word anti-vax
I
because
do too. I do too.
I don't because I am. I'm
I
totally
mean,
against
I
it.
am, but I mean,
it puts a negative connotation on it that shouldn't be there. You're just not vaccinated.
yeah.
Right.
Anti-vax makes you sound like you're against anybody who is vaccinated, which is not.
Yeah. And then
I'm
they
just
make it out to
I'm
be
just
that
against it
you're
for me.
against any medical advice whatsoever. That is not true whatsoever. If my kids
So
are
that's where like
sick, they're going to the hospital.
well, because that's what they were like. Oh, you're anti-vax. I'm like, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And Rudy, the moderate Democrat, tried to like call me out one time, and he's like, "Why don't you tell everybody your real stance on why you're against this vaccine? Because you're against them all." I'm like, okay, I'm against them all. Bam, CPS got called.
Well, that's the thing is that, I mean, I guess that in Texas, you know, your kids have been to school, like they have that religious exemption still, so I don't know. That might protect you a little bit because if you have that, then they really can't do nothing about it. But
Are you able to get your exception?
Yeah, no, it's just a form you fill out.
No, I'm asking Jarickoh if he was for work.
Oh, for work.
Oh yeah, I got granted that, and then after I got granted that, funniest thing is that Biden dropped that executive order. So, I mean, if they ever implement again, they better keep that because they accepted it in the first place.
Well, that's the one he lost in court, right?
What?
I don't. Did he lose that one in court?
Yeah, I think he lost that one in court. That's why he had
Yeah, he did. So, but if he ever tried again, if it ever became a thing again, that company
now there's case law.
a bargain still saying I have that religious exemption because it got granted. So
well, no, now you have case law. That's even more strong than
and now since in my area, they have what they call they have like different levels of COVID cases. Like if the city is in like red level, so the company will be like, okay, we need to wear masks again. And then I gotta have a weekly COVID test every week. But I don't. It's self. We do it ourselves, so like I never stick it up like they want you to. But I do it enough.
They don't even tell you to do that anymore.
Yeah, but
no, it really.
I'm on the list. I'm on the list.
I took one like 2 days ago because I came down with the flu, like a flu bug, and I got a little nervous that it was COVID again.
Yeah.
That really kicked my ass last time. And the instructions never told me to put it up that far.
Yeah.
It's just the inside on both
That's
sides.
what we do now.
Just the
But
tip.
I had it once back in January 2021. I was sick for a day, and then after that I was fine, but they kept me out of work for 2 weeks because it was 10 days instead of 5 now. But yeah, ever since then I've been fine, but they still treat it as I am a problem.
It's so weird to me. It's just so weird.
Dana had her.
It's everywhere.
She had her procedure done, and on Monday, and prior to that, she had to get a COVID vaccine, or not the vaccine, but the COVID test, and then they also wanted an antibody test because she wasn't vaccinated.
Yeah.
On top of it, because the anesthesiologist was scared that she still could have COVID and wanted to know her antibodies since she hadn't been vaccinated yet.
Oh, Lord.
So it went from a simple COVID test to getting blood drawn so they can get her antibodies.
It's like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Makes sense.
It's an anesthesiologist. Come on.
Oh, look, Cotton said she has to get the same thing done for her procedure in 2 weeks.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't have to do the antibody test, but I had the same thing done not that long ago, and I had to do the COVID test. But I didn't have to have.
See, this is the thing I've always like. This is what gets
COVID test.
well, but like I've gone to bat for like two big conservatives, but these freedoms and then that King Berto, because they were getting attacked because they got the COVID vaccine. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Why are we conservatives?
supposed to be for
another
choice.
conservative for their choice. That's what we're all fighting for. Why
Right.
are we attacking somebody? Who gives a shit? Who does,
Yeah.
They live across the world from you. Who cares if they got the damn vaccine?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care if somebody gets COVID tested. I will never get it voluntarily. I would never know if I had COVID or didn't. But like, if somebody else wants to go do it voluntarily or whatever, so be it. Like,
Right.
I don't understand it.
Both of my parents are vaccinated, but they never made me feel like I had to get it. But I mean, they're at that age where like they hear something like, "Oh, we gotta get it." I'm like,
Is that really?
It's your choice, but you ain't gonna force me to their credit.
That's
Cat,
not how it works for monkeypox. To your mouth.
No, is what AFTC meant to say is that's how you get monkeypox, is doing it in the doo-doo shoe.
Actually, I read you can get it from like close contact too, I guess.
Extended prolonged contact.
Oh, so is that why they put
This is why they're claiming kids are getting it.
Oh, dear. What? Oh, my God.
Cuddling and dancing.
Yeah.
So better stop dancing.
I don't know what you're talking about. The only person I dance with is monkeypox. If she brings home monkeypox, we got an issue.
I'm like low key freaked out that like I'm gonna be the girl that gets monkeypox, and then everyone's gonna be like, "What?"
And the next thing you know, Kat and her husband are gonna get fucking joint TikToks and stuff.
Based on the story I told you,
I got it from you because you guys are the ones that are having the affair.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So that Dana has the monkeypox too. We can all move in together. Isn't it a gorgeous house?
It honestly does look like chickenpox. Like the monkeypox does look like chickenpox. I agree.
That's where Jarickoh plays the piano and thinks about Charles.
Yes, that's where we shared our first kiss.
That's where the magic happened.
Oh my love. Yeah,
Dude, I at those videos. I keep touching this and it's gonna drive me.
Well, before I forget too, I want to give a little shout out to that cute KY shop. She was initially supposed to be on here tonight, but she had to cancel because she had important meetings with her local officials to figure out how to get resources to her area. Because if you guys don't know what's going on in Kentucky is not what Joe Biden had said earlier in his press conference in Kentucky. They didn't get hit by tornadoes. They got hit by treacherous storms and are flooding. So Joe Biden got that wrong. I just had to fact check him real quick.
But like when did he ever get his coat on?
No, he's still working on that.
I saw
that. But if you guys can go over to that cute KY shop's TikTok, she's got a link in her bio for Amazon wish list. And also she's posting pictures of what all is going on there so you guys can see the physical damage. She's also being very, very, very transparent of where everything is going for her, anything that's donated to her. So there's been a couple of like fraudulent fundraisers already for Kentucky.
Garbage.
And yeah. And so, yeah, her Amazon wish list is a link in her bio, and it's everything that they need. So it's not like luxury items; it's things that they legitimately need. There's some Congress people, state Congress people that are actually like boots on the ground, legit, rolling their sleeves up and helping. There's some that aren't doing anything. And when this meeting came up today, she was like, she contacted me first thing and she said, "Hey, I'm so sorry, but I have to attend this for my community." Don't apologize for anything like that because like your community is way more important than this podcast. And so she's been giving a lot of updates of what's going on her TikTok. So if we can just support her in any sort of way, it's that cute KY shop. I think her name is NE or something like that on there.
Yeah.
She's helped us she's one of these people that
she's self-employed. Everybody with everything. Like she's the most.
She's helped us with Lemire. She donated a bunch for Lemire. She's donated items to like Scott D. Henry that he never picked up. She's donated to the people.
Scott.
She's donated to people in the rankings. If you're for that or against it, at the end of the day, she's helping. She's donated merch to me.
The
And made
battle stuff. She donated the trophy and the gifts.
Oh yeah, for the
gifts
lip singing battle.
Yep.
So she's always one to always help somebody out. So the least we can do is, she really helped big time with Scoop. I remember that.
There's too many things to remember of what she's all helped with. She's helped with that many things on the app.
That's awesome, JRO.
That is awesome.
And so anything that we can help her and her community is what we should be doing. I know like everybody's focused on Mar-a-Lago, but I can guarantee the people in Kentucky could give two shits that Donald Trump's house was raided because they don't have a house.
Yeah.
A lot of these houses have been swept away. Bridges are swept away. So now people can't get back and forth. So she makes awesome merch, and I believe she's donating a lot of the profits so we can help buy her merch too. And I can tell you, like, she reached out to me to make a merch for Dana and I, a hat, my Texas hat with a patch on there. It was one of the fastest merches that I've ever received. Like, she contacted me, and like literally days later, it was already on the way. And it's like, wow,
she's amazing.
Yeah. So anything we can do to help her, I think it would be good for us too. And it would help Kentucky. It would help fellow Americans, whether, who cares what political aisle they're on. But I think it'd be something that we could all do to help her out.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Jarickoh,
where can we find you at on all your socials for the whole world to know?
What's that?
I said, where can we find you at? Where can people follow you at? Where can people support you at?
Can you just tell us your address, your place of employment? That way the Rosa Parks of TikTok will have it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll dox myself. There you go.
Did your mom write any books that we can read?
Yeah. On Instagram, I have two Instagrams, but the one I'm on right now is Jarickoholic, and then the one I did for my podcast, I haven't done it in like almost a year, but when I moved here, I kind of got unmotivated, and now I'm here. I'm like, damn, I freaking missed this. So, Walls of Jarickoh is on IG, Facebook. No, I don't want Facebook. I don't hardly ever post on there. So basically, just IG besides the TikTok. So,
all right.
All right. Can you send us out with a Donald Trump inspirational quote of some sort or speech?
When I came on this podcast, I was a lost little puppy, and now I realize that I want to do this all over again. So my friend Jarickoh might just get into the podcasting game once again. It's going to be great. You can ask anybody. And Texan and Kat are two great people. They're lovely, and they're the best I've ever known. Word.
I love it. We got to stop with that one because that was awesome. Jarickoh, we appreciate it. We will see everybody back Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern.
That was on you.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if that cute KY shop will come on or can come on if she has the ability to. If not, we'll have a nice, good guest. Don't worry.
A surprise guest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, God, for having me. I really enjoyed it. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, bro. And for everybody else out there, don't go looking for dates at homeless shelters. It's
Lord.
y'all have a good evening.